Darrell, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me back. Gosh, how long has it been? It's like
I
two
think
years at
3
least.
years 3 years
Wow.
is
3 years.
when we looked at
Wow.
it. It's been a while.
Yeah, yeah. It has been a while. Yeah, and I
You
wasn't a
must
parent,
have been
so even
yeah.
more change.
More change. What were you saying, Jazz?
He must have been one of our very first guests because we were about 3 years into the
Oh
podcast.
my gosh, he was. And what a get he was when we got him. I was like, I don't know if Darrell will get on the show. And you did. And now you have your own podcast.
Yes.
When we talked, you had just written the MarTech handbook.
Hmm.
And a lot has changed in the 3 years since then. I just wanted to kind of get your State of the Union address. Like, AI is here from a marketing ops, perspective, which is one of the places that you like to focus in. What do you think has shifted the most in this 3-year period around Martech and marketing ops since you wrote that handbook?
Yes. So much has happened. I think the world is changing so much now that it's kind of scary and exciting at the same time.
Mm.
Um, but specifically when it comes to MarTech, I am so excited because I think that there's finally this emphasis on good data
Mm.
and investments in data quality.
Mm.
Because, before marketing ops folks would be shouting from the rooftops, you need to invest in good data. You need to invest in good data. Well, and then, no one really listened. Now you want to do all the AI sexy models and predictive and personalization and use all these AI agents, you need to have good data. Imagine letting your AI SDRs loose on a bad data set. That's a terrible experience for everyone. So I think that's the first thing is this, finally this recognition that you need really great data.
Mm.
Um, I think the other thing from a MarTech perspective is the rapid obsolescence, I guess, of the configuration tasks
Mm.
within MarTech. And here's what I mean. So when you are running a marketing program, you're setting up ads or you're setting up an email marketing campaign, right? What you're doing is you're going into these platforms and you're clicking around. You're clicking like, this is the subject line. This is how much I want to spend. That is configuration. You are changing a system and clicking buttons. That is rapidly becoming obsolete because AI is taking over, right? We are starting to move more into the whole conversational way of executing marketing. I
Mm.
would like to create a webinar. I would like to run performance ads. I would like to target these people. So more and more you're seeing this sort of, I'm dictating what I want, not actually performing the tasks. And I think that that's super exciting.
One thing I want to ask you about that data foundation, because that's something that we also believe very strongly in at NinjaCat. But thinking about the importance that you've always seen, to having clean data, having accurate data, do you think people have to have like a oh moment to like realize that, to like let AI go rampant or to see the messages going out that are like inaccurate? Or do you think it's just becoming more obvious to people? Do you have to kind of live through that like a bad experience with the data gone awry?
That's a good question. I think some executives that have never really been hands on will probably need that aha
Mm.
moment of like, oh, oops. I think what we're seeing a lot in many organizations is the desire and the mandate from executives to implement AI, but their technology team saying it's actually not possible. Like what you're asking for, we can't get there due to poor data. And it's sad because it's really just the fundamentals. It's data being in some sort of single source of truth, so you know what you're referencing. It's making sure the fields are up to date. It's make sure that the data is normalized and segmented. You know what I mean? Things that marketing ops professionals have been doing for the past decade.
It's really
But
going back to
because there hasn't been that, emphasis on it, I think that, but the converse is also true though. The companies that have had this set up are now miles ahead of the rest of the pack because they have good data that they can rely on, they can actually, and that's why you're starting to see, like leading companies just all of a sudden use AI and it works spectacularly. And that's because of a foundation of good data.
They've done that being upfront.
So, uh, part of me is wondering, I just was thinking, if I handed someone a great pair of running shoes, the best running shoes, would I expect them to run a marathon? And so I'm actually thinking, you have all the data on how to run a marathon, quality data. But until you put those shoes on, and so I'm just kind of thinking there's an experience here is the educator, but also I think the data is an important thing, but teams. I think the team that can figure it out, what we've seen at NinjaCat is the tools are here, but the teams are the people that take it past that finish line. You know what I mean? So there's something that you mentioned. Data quality is now important, but that dictation, that conversational thing, maybe that's getting people more conversational about how they're doing their work. And maybe the benefit is that people are like, oh, I didn't even know that you're doing that. Oh, I didn't even know about your processes. And so now, like through that experience, you're working it. So data quality is a thing, but also, did you notice? I mean, marketing ops, isn't it about teamwork? It's never really about the tools. Talk about it, Darrell. It ain't about the sneakers. It's about the runners. Huh?
Yeah. I like that. I think I ran this poll on LinkedIn about like what are the top marketing challenges and like what are your marketing tech challenges, and it's 50% or more are all people challenges.
Mm.
It's really not the technology and it's not the data. I think that there's an incredible lack of alignment among the GTM teams, like sales, marketing. They don't really get along. And I think that there's just people don't understand how they're contributing as to the part of the whole or to like a greater cause. And I think that that's I'm a really big fan in sort of unified and aligned goal setting as a way to set, and it's very simple, but it's just most organizations fail at it. You have a top line goal, and the level below it sets goals that ladder up into that one, and then the practitioners set goals that ladder up into those. So it's actually really simple and really aligned. It's just that I think that that's where most companies fall flat. I think that that's where marketing ops really kind of shines, is being that connective tissue amongst the group. And honestly, I would say in the past 3 years, the biggest contributions that I've done to my organizations have been getting people to work together. Every time I drop into some sort of project, some sort of problem, I realize quickly it's usually because like one or two people really don't like each other, and they don't trust each other. They don't trust like what each other are saying.
And
So
ain't no technology gonna fix that. You got to kind of go in there and mediate it. That's so
Those
good.
are truly leadership skills, though. I
it's
mean, I
leadership
think that
skills.
as a leader, you have that experience and that kind of bird's eye view of understanding how to identify those problems. And I'm sure you've been a people manager and you are able to then apply that across the projects. So good for you for kind of seeing that as that it's not just a technology problem, but it is.
Totally.
We're still humans in the loop, as they say.
Right, humans in the loop. So here's my follow-up question, and then I'll pass it to Jess. She'll have one. But if you were rewriting the Martech handbook, would there be a chapter that wouldn't exist anymore, or would there be one that you want to write? Or
So I would definitely, there wasn't a chapter on AI, so that would definitely be included.
Sure.
I also think that I would massively change the way that I think the chapter on data strategy, because that I think is rapidly evolving. We have historically seen either the CRM as a single source of truth for data, or some sort of, I don't know, marketing automation platform. That I think is rapidly becoming either like the data warehouse or the CDP has been a big. I think the prevalence of CDP and data warehouse have been making massive changes. So and here's like the short of the reason why. The best marketing happens based on what customers do, you know, and that is oftentimes how they interact with our products or services or salespeople, or how they interact in store. That data is stored in places everywhere, right? So marketing needs to be informed and activated off that data.
Mhm.
And it's so difficult to pull that data from all these various places, you
Yeah.
know? So having a single source of truth has become vital. And then subsequent to that, being able to actually do something with it,
Right.
quickly,
Right.
not days. We're talking about like minutes after they sign up or minutes after they take action. So the only way to get there today is to really have a great data strategy that's centered around and supports a good data warehouse or a good CDP. So that I think I would expand much more, just because of the the industry has been evolving.
Yeah, for sure.
So do you see that the data foundation is a prerequisite for any type of AI program or project? And then specifically, everybody's talking about agents and that being the next wave. How do you see agents working on top of that unified data set to either help improve the data quality, or what type of workflows or use cases do you see agentic AI moving into?
Yeah. So this one's really interesting because I don't think that there is really consistent definitions of agents and agentic like across the board, you know. And for me, like personally, I kind of have a pretty high bar. I think agents should be able to, make decisions autonomously, have multi purposes, not just one thing,
Mm.
do multiple things,
Mm.
and also get better. It
Mm.
should improve over
Mm.
time,
It's not improving.
right? I don't know how many agents do that. Like when I think of an agent, I think of like ChatGPT
Mhm.
or Claude,
Mm.
or Perplexity. Like these are real agents. Like they could do,
Mm.
dozens and dozens of things. They can like, on one hand have a conversation with you, on the other hand help you write poetry. Like that to me is like at the level that it should be.
Mm.
So
Give me
that's
some, like, use cases in the marketing also. Then yes, it would be great if they could write poetry for, for marketing. But I would love to like hear from you, somebody who's so entrenched in the data and the workflow pieces. Like, what are some agentic or not? I know you said you have a high bar for what agents are, but what are some ways you're seeing AI or agentic AI kind of specific use cases on your teams or within marketing industry that you've seen work really well?
Yeah, I think that many of these are just sort of like, I would say more of like apps or like automations
Mm.
versus like agents. So I would just preface that.
Right.
I'm loving the AI SDR technology, and there's a couple of different companies that do it. And how it works is the AI agent actually replicates a sales rep over email, and they try to book a meeting. And if the prospect agrees to meet, then it's then routed to the correct AE, just like an SDR would, right? Except instead of doing it one at a time, you can actually have these conversations 100 at a time,
Mm.
1,000 at a time, right? And if it's the answer is not now, that is then marked in the CRM. So I feel that like there are great opportunities in sales and customer service for AI to really kind of replicate basic, because what are you trying to do in this situation?
Mm.
Determine if there's interest and determine if there's like the readiness to take the next step. That's really it. And I love that. I also love, on the customer service side, like I don't know if either of you like, use DoorDash, but if you have a problem with DoorDash, you start talking to an agent and it just asks you rapid fire questions like, did the food get there? Was it just one thing missing? Was it two things? Is it somebody else's order? It's like all of these really basic things, and you can resolve it really quickly. And I love the idea that AI can take these um, overtake these tasks that don't really have any gray areas. I think the mistake that people do or that companies do is they try to inject agents where there wasn't really a need in the first place. It was more of like just so we have it. You know what I mean? And like I don't know mean, I used to work at Amazon, but I wasn't there at the time. But you know, I don't know if you agree with this, but Amazon actually has a agent called like Rufus,
Right. I've heard of that.
and hmm I never use it. It's
No.
like, what do you use it for?
Well,
You know what I mean?
not
It's just like it wants you to ask questions about the product, but I'm just like, I know what the product is. It's listed right here, you know?
Yeah.
And like I just want to see what other people are saying. So this is a perfect example of an AI agent that we didn't ask for. You know what I mean? And companies do that. Like analyst firms will launch AI agents, and it's like, here's an AI agent that'll answer any of your questions on this. And it's just like, I didn't ask for that. You know, I just want to see this, and I want to make my own decisions. So I would say that that's my determination of like, there are these important rules-based tasks that AI can really help us. And so many companies are off busy, trying to innovate, doing things that we never asked for.
I agree with that. I think that helping people go back to the basics of good product design is, solving an actual problem. What is the highest priority problem that this technology, whether it's AI or anything, could actually solve? Like, is there a true pain point for the end user, and solving it that way? One thing that we've seen, some people struggle with, though, it's just like you have all these tools, and how do you kind of prioritize those use cases? Because
Mm.
there's this mess of, oh, AI can do this, do that, or whatever. Like, how do you think through where to deploy AI to have like the biggest impact, uh, or solve the kind of the hardest or juiciest problems?
Yeah, I think there's two things. First of all, I think it's getting really clear on which the juiciest problems are.
Right.
And I think that that's really tough for organizations to do. And I'm a fan of like impact effort matrix or scoring, that where you can really try to understand like, okay, if we solve this problem, like how much revenue will this actually drive, or how many users will this affect? And those can give you a score. I think that that can help you prioritize. I think secondarily, it's going to be about dedicating time, and some teams are even dedicating up to 50% on the AI experimentation. I think that there are wonderful solutions out there. We just don't know that they exist because we're too busy, oftentimes like heads down, doing things the way they've always been done. I know this like contradicts a little bit of what I've been saying before, where like I'm saying that AI is not the solution to everything. But that doesn't mean we can't be educated and that we can't try new things.
Mm.
And I think that, I was interviewing the CMO of a MarTech company the other day, and one simple way is ask your team, like, how are you using AI this week to help you achieve your goals? What have you tried with AI each week? Just every single week, do something. And I think that from that you can discover how to make your work better, and then use that to your prioritized list of problems.
And isn't this so cool? Because it comes back to the top where we were talking about experience. You have to kind of hit your head against some ceilings. But one thing I was thinking about, Darrell, is I don't know how I don't think you're putting your foot in your mouth at all. But what I think is your foot is near your mouth when we're talking about how AI, you have a high bar for agents. I think people are having that high bar and they're going for it. And you're like, hold on. The bar that you need to set is much lower. But because I love that you have a high bar, because that does make sense. Like if this thing is like an agent, for sure, it's doing its own thing, it's thinking, it's improving. And you're like, yeah, man. And I think that same impetus is behind the wrong-headed appropriation of technology for misaligned decisions and helping people. You know what I mean? Like I hate to bring you out as an example, but I think your high bar at the same time is the thing holding people back, maybe. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna keep trying to go for that high bar when they need to start smaller and have conversations with people. You know what I mean? Is that too tortured? Did that make sense?
I like that. I think that if you start small, I think it can turn into something big, and just the building of the muscle using AI, I think there's something there. Like you need to get,
Agreed.
you can't all of a sudden just become, oh, this AI thing is here, I'm good at it. And that I think you have a really great point. I think that at the same time, AI is not magically going to make your product better, or you a better marketer, or you understand your customers. Like, I think that that's the point that I'm trying to make, is that all of a sudden AI is here, and all of a sudden all of these fundamentals and these first principle things don't matter. And my argument is they matter even more.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what I think AI can do, and this is for, and I don't know if you all do this, but what AI can do is help us in that effort to better understand customers and better understand the first principles and what works.
Mhm.
And often, you both probably do this, but you just kind of talk to ChatGPT, and you're just like, what could this be? What are examples? How would a consultant approach this? And it just all of a sudden gives you like so much more perspective, like having an expert that you can talk to at any time to sharpen your own thinking,
Mm.
not do the work for you. I think that's the point I'm trying to make.
I agree. I think that is a kind of underutilized currently, but where things are headed, that using it as a strategic partner, or, your co-CMO, as opposed to just write this email for me, or, it's like, no, there's actually, this PhD level expert, if it's configured correctly, to help you strategize and, think about problems in a new way, or even, critique, not just, you have to put the prompt in correctly, but you can't just, you don't want it to be parrot back to you like, that's great, good idea. No, like, critique this for me, give me poke holes.
And work together. I mean, that's one of the things that I love. I love watching Jess work the prompts and share things, and then look at my thing, and then we sort of drill things down and throw things out, and slide things in, and it's flexibility. I like that you kind of brought that metaphor in, Darrell. It is like you need some training, you need some flexibility, you need to like be able to touch your toes before you can take this tech to where it can go. Here, as the co-host of this podcast, you were just saying you're having these conversations with CMOs, you're getting insight. I've found that it's just the best to have a conversation with people. And you mentioned internally having conversations, the power of this. And I'm just like, Darrell, you've been doing it for 10 months. Um, just kind of speak as a podcaster. Now you're an influencer. I feel influenced by you right now. So please keep that over there. But like, how has that experience been? How's it helped you kind of broaden your perspective, educate you? Just kind of give us that.
Yeah, it's been a really wonderful experience, because I've tried to do a podcast on my own before and just did it and failed, and
Tough.
it really gives you the respect. I think Phil Gamesh, my co-host, just really demonstrates like really high quality and researched interviews, and if I'm not sure if you follow, but with the Humans in Martech, there are complete like summaries and video clips afterward. And it's just, I love that. I really respect high quality work. And that's something that I've really learned. And it's a nice balance, because I'm more of like an off the shoot from the hip kind of guy.
Right.
And I like to just riff and pontificate and all this kind of stuff. So that I think has been really, really great. I think the other one is I've started to have a lot of respect as an interviewer. It is tough. You know what I mean? Because there are things you want to say, but I think part of the role as an interviewer is you're really trying to pull insights from the guest and get them to talk about something that's really passionate to them. You know what I mean? And not just do like back and forth interview questions, but like you start to like get that hint of like a spark, and you're just trying to pull it out. And that really happens from listening. And listening really hard listening really carefully is tough when you're on essentially what's a kind of a show. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So that part is really tough as well. So I've definitely been loving that. And I've gotten to meet a lot of people too, and you probably know
Yeah.
this, Jake, doing this for a
Oh
while.
yeah.
That's the biggest joy, is you meet people that think differently than you, and it kind of expands the way that you think. And that's been I think a really rewarding.
Yeah. Well, in your
Since you've been in the mic and you know how this works, what do you want to give us as three takeaways? You want to give us 3 to 5 takeaways about, the future of AI in marketing ops, or if you were to kind of summarize your three top tips, what might they be
3 top tips for AI or
for leveraging AI in marketing ops?
for leveraging AI in marketing ops. Yeah, I think, let's see. I think to summarize what we've been talking about, I think that number one, get your data in order and get your data house in order. Everything is predicated on accurate and complete and up-to-date data.
Mm.
I think the second piece is really lean into strategy and into what's best for your customers, both internally and externally. You have external customers who you're trying to sell and deliver value to. You have internal customers like marketers and salespeople
Mhm.
that you're trying to enable them to reach their goals. So like lean into that strategy and what will really help those types of customers. I think thirdly, it's all about innovation. It's such an exciting time now, and the past has all been about, with Google and Meta, et cetera, has all been about monetization and ads. And that's sort of like hindered us. It like was prohibitive.
Mm.
But now it's all about innovation. It's all about a race to who can create essentially what's like general artificial intelligence and like deliver the most value. So I would say ride the wave, like take advantage of this wonderful time because we haven't had anything like this in decades. And do your own form of innovation, and that is really creating value for other people, is the way that I think about it. So those are my takeaways.
Those are
Oh, he
great.
just
I
had
love.
that. You know what I mean? Me and Jess are like, oh, okay. Just pulled that out of his hat. Um,
Oh, that was fantastic.
yeah, Darrell, you're amazing. If people want to learn more about you and connect online, where can they do that?
LinkedIn for sure, and then Darrell Alfonso, and I also have a newsletter that I write every week. It's called The Marketing Operations Leader, and yeah, just search for it. You'll find it. It's like the first ranked thing.
Boom, he's number one. Okay, we're gonna do cheese or chocolate really quick. I'm gonna ask you 2 questions and you gotta pick them.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
Cheese or chocolate?
Cheese, mozzarella,
Okay. Oh, specific. Mega Man or Metroid?
Metroid, and Samus, right?
Yes.
And Samus is a woman.
I know, and go for that. Big ups to that. Darrell knows stuff. Okay, here we go. It's hot outside, okay? Are you gonna eat outside or are you gonna eat inside with the AC?
Inside with the AC.
Jess, what do you think? I'm calling in a friend. Jess, yeah, what do you think? It's hot outside?
I live in Chicago. If it's nice, I'm going outside. So
Okay, all right.
different depends on where you live.
It
If
does.
you
Yeah.
have,
We have different levels of hot. It's always
yeah.
like 72 here in Southern California.
Okay.
So
And I won't get into thermostat.
that's normal.
I won't get into Thermostat the musical. I promise, Jess, I wouldn't. Okay, here we go. Oh my God, Thermostat. Is it a friendly appliance or is it a relationship killer? Ooh, he paused on it.
Friendly appliance. Yeah.
He's
We
just
keep ours at the same temperature all the time.
Oh, you do? Oh, well, here you again.
Yeah.
There you go again. You're in California. Okay, so you don't really have. Okay, all right. Anyway, fine. Enjoy that. Wave. Do you wave after you merge in a lane, or do you think the turn signal is courtesy enough?
If I see them slowing down to let me in, I wave.
That's a nice thing. Jess, what do you think?
I give a wave. I mean, I'm from the Midwest.
That's just how we do it. We call it pop, or do we call it soda? I don't know. Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. And finally, let's talk about it. Pillows. Is there never enough of them, or are they useless decor?
Never enough.
Really?
Because okay, if you have a ton of them, you can just like put them on the side and use however many you want. Sometimes I use 2, sometimes I use 3.
This is a marketing ops answer, though, don't you think? I think like you're tainted from your ops experience. What, Jess? What do you think? Are we pillows?
Oh yeah, I'm more the merrier. It's cozy, comfy.
Well, then I'm.
If you
You
have
don't
too
really
many,
have-
hide them in
Well,
the closet.
See,
here.
These are
That,
problems
like,
I don't
we
need.
need more like
Or
infinite thinking here.
I know.
Infinite thinking.
I need a
If you
single.
don't have enough pillows, you're screwed if you have like a guest come over.
Okay, all right, but I need a single source of pillows. You know what I mean? And I think since Pier 1 closed, I don't know where I'm going. Like, do you have a good pillow dealer? Let's talk about this off mic. Anyway. Where do you get your pillows? Just kidding.
Amazon.